Welcome to a real-world insight, 9 years of process transformation with SAP S4HANA and SAP Signavio in a global environment. Today, the AdaPro team demonstrates how complex individual projects evolved into a scalable methodology, built on SAP S4HANA and SAP Signavio. This is not a theoretical concept. This is a proof of execution, a field report of real rollouts, real risks, and real success. Every transformation begins with the same 3 questions, and these very questions determine success or stagnation. First, how can I make my transformation program easier to scale? Many organizations start strong but lose momentum because knowledge, models, and best practices aren't reused. Scalability only emerges when governance, modeling, and execution are connected within one system. Second, how can I accelerate my project and mitigate risks? Acceleration is no coincidence. It comes from transparency when processes, requirements, and tests are interconnected and decisions can be made based on data. This reduces rework and builds trust. And third, how do I ensure that I align with the latest best practices? Best practices are not a static concept. With SAP Signavio, you connect process modeling, mining, governance, and automation in a closed loop, learning continuously from every rollout. These 3 questions are the starting point of every scalable transformation. The answer does not lie in a single tool, but in the ability to unite all components within a closed loop. The journey began in 2016 with a clear goal: to view the S4HANA transformation not as a one-time project, but as a repeatable process. At that time, much was uncertain. New tools, growing governance requirements, and strict regulatory standards. But instead of waiting, the AdaPro team launched a pilot program to prove 2 things. First, that process modeling and requirements management in Signavio could form the foundation of a global rollout strategy. Second, that discipline, not tool maturity, makes the difference. From 2016 to 2018, the first pilots were conducted across several European countries. On July 1st, 2018, the first go-live followed a turning point. From 2018 onward, the focus shifted towards scaling, integrating modeling, test management, and solution manager, the foundation for a closed-loop structure. By 2023, 25 go-lives had followed in several waves. And while 9 years may sound like a long time, in reality, that meant just 4.5 months per go-live, an exceptional speed for such complexity. Considering that the first go-live took 2 years, the remaining 24 scalable go-lives required only 3.5 months each. The acceleration is clear. The results speak for themselves. More than 1,100 process models, a 95% reuse rate, and standardized fit-to-gap analyses that have become routine today. The key point: these standardized processes align closely with SAP's standard models, and where they differ, they do so for good reason. The result is a living process ecosystem designed for global harmonization without suppressing local requirements. Of course, there were challenges. Especially in the beginning, process modeling and Signavio expertise were often lacking. Governance was not yet established, and many teams first had to learn how to model properly. The AdaPro team responded pragmatically, with targeted trainings, mentoring programs, and quick model sessions. Because the key was not that every model was formally perfect, but that it reflected the reality of the employees. Governance should not restrict, it should empower. As early as 2016, the team laid the foundation for what is now known as the closed-loop approach. Back then, it was still in its early stages, but already guided by a clear idea. Processes, requirements, tests, and documentation must be connected in a continuous cycle. SAP Signavio served as the central requirements repository, S4HANA as the core platform, and Solution Manager as well as ALM as the anchors for testing and documentation. This architecture marked the first real step toward repeatable governance. We all know it, probably the most powerful software in the world: Excel. And let's be honest, whenever you look into a transformation program, you'll find it. Somewhere. Someone always has that small list. That's only temporary since 2018. Excel is like a Swiss Army knife. You can do almost anything with it, but you probably shouldn't. Because what seems flexible at first eventually becomes a bottleneck. Version 37 final.xlxx isn't a process, it's a symptom. That's why we say excellence, not Excel. Not because spreadsheets are bad, but because excellence means designing processes that explain themselves. Signavio helps exactly with that. Every decision, every deviation, every change has its place in the system, not on the desktop. And the best part, once you stop using Excel as a governance tool, you'll realize how liberating clarity can be. No more, who has the latest version? No more, why is this field yellow? No more, I think there used to be a macro. Instead, process clarity, reusability, scalability. So yes, we do love Excel a little, but we love excellence more. Because true transformation doesn't happen in cells, it happens in systems. The focus was on the core processes: procurement, order to cash, production, financial management, controlling, and treasury. These processes were not viewed in isolation, but as an interconnected network. That was the moment when the mindset shifted from projects to systems. In parallel, the process landscape evolved through three phases: from process conformance to process performance to process value management. The idea: make processes controllable first, then measurable, and finally valuable. From 2018 onward, everything converged into the vision of the closed-loop transformation, a system where target processes become requirements, test plans can be automatically derived, and every process deviation remains documented and controllable. Not all tools were mature yet, many features were missing or had to be combined. But the direction was clear. Governance doesn't replace speed, it enables it. 9 years, 25 rollouts, 95% reuse. That's the proof. Scalable transformation works from real-world experience, with SAP Signavio as the strategic compass, and with a mindset that says, clarity is not a PowerPoint idea, clarity is architecture. That was the first part of our series, From Practice to Scalable Methodology. In the next video, we'll explore why governance is not control, but the foundation for freedom and speed,